wildly. En route to steal the queen's immortality peaches, the whiskey-fueled Monkey King, who has been imprisoned for centuries, teams up with a sarcastic monk and a pig deity. A long time ago, a young girl was playing on the lake's edge in a Chinese fishing hamlet as her father was getting ready to go to work for the day. When he sees that the girl is sad because her elderly grandpa is going to go again, he plays in the water and makes her smile once again. It through the water. Despite being aware that her father is in peril, the girl keeps laughing, until the figure vanishes and the water is reduced to just blood. The demon hunter, whom the villagers had hired without delay, starts hurling explosives into the lake and chanting, which causes a huge explosion that leaves everyone stunned. The hunter says that once they catch a gigantic stingray, the monster is possessed by the same demon that killed the last man. The fact that the monster was captured has made the people incredibly grateful. However, someone among the throng informs them that the fish is only an ordinary stingray and not a demon. The man goes by Tang, and it seems that he is both an apprentice monk and a demon hunter. When the second demon hunter learns of this, he promptly accuses Tang of working with the demon. The villagers then launch a ferocious attack on the guy, tying him up as a form of retribution. Everyone jumps into the sea, thinking it's safe to do so. Tang, in the meantime, looks at the people in despair. A gigantic beast immediately puts a stop to their jubilation as it devours a woman. As everyone stares in shock, the monster immediately demonstrates that they are not secure as long as they are out of the water by grabbing the villagers with its tongue as they hurry back to shore. The previous young child attempted to run in the direction of her mother. However, the monster seizes the opportunity and tries to pull the little girl into the sea by grabbing hold of her. When the little girl is caught by the monster on the brink of the bridge, the villagers rush to her aid and attempt to chop off the monster's tongue, but the monster leaps up and swallows the kid whole. In a frantic attempt to save her daughter, the enraged mother plunges into the water. Tang, in the meantime, starts biting the cords to break free. When she notices the enormous creature rising out of the sea, she is overcome with terror. Shaking with rage, it looks at the lady. When she begs the creature to give her kid back, all it does is consume her as well. A baby slips toward the water to get away from his mother as the monster destroys the adjacent buildings, throwing everyone off balance. Tang is fortunate enough to escape and land close to the platform. Instead, he made the infant glide towards him. As the enormous beast leaps at him, he clutches the baby, but Tang is able to flee in time, trapping the monster on the platform. Leaping at the people with the creature's weight, Tang returns the youngster to his mom. He only notices that the imposter demon hunter is cowering in his hide. With every stride she takes, this gigantic girl causes tremors as she dashes out of the crowd and lunges toward the creature below. The enormous lady knocks the monster out of the air as she descends on the platform, coming down squarely on top of the imposter demon hunter before he can flee. The monster gradually starts to change, ultimately evolving into a seemingly innocent young guy. When they see this, the people attempt to slay the demon. However, Tang puts an end to the bloodshed and proposes a different course of action. The man pulls out a book titled The 300 Nursery Rhymes along with a number of other instruments, getting ready to let his musical prowess loose in an attempt to transform the monster from evil to good. Tang starts singing in a horrifying way which both confuses the crowd and the demon. The beast was driven insane by the man's terrible performance and lyrics. When the demon starts violently, thrashing the victim and destroying everything in his path, a lady seizes the demon and starts beating it up before Tang is slain. Ultimately, the monster was transformed into a doll by being sealed within a mystical fabric. The woman's name turns out to be Duan, and she's also one of the demon hunters. However, the lady laughs wildly at Tang when he shows her the weapons he used to defeat the monsters, and the entire village thanks her for being their real hero. Tang is disappointed by the outcome, but his teacher comforts him by saying that turning evil into kindness is never simple. He informs the monk that he needs to defeat a second monster who cooks human flesh at a local restaurant and resides there. Tang arrives at the demon's restaurant at night and enters only to see that everybody is seated and enjoying a delicious dinner. He is greeted and shown around by a woman, but Tang sees through the lies quickly and orders her to disclose her true look. As the monster lunges at Tang, he panics and runs away, but Duan steps in to save him. He begins to hit her until she turns into a dust mound. She begins scolding every customer in the restaurant. She dismantled the devils one by one with her rings. She's calling for the boss to come out when a young man walks up from behind her. However, Duan instantly retaliates and engages the demon in combat as they trade ferocious blows. Taking advantage of her position, the lady punches the man across the room. Subsequently, she calls forth many rings and begins shooting them towards the demon, deliberately aiming for the man's face. Ultimately, she breaks his skin and exposes the pig's snout. The demon starts using the rake to block all of her assaults and brings himself closer to the woman. He strikes fiercely at Duan, making her defend herself, but manages to pierce her skin just before impact as she flees. Duan lunges behind the beast and gives him a kick, compelling the creature to take on its actual shape, which is that of a demon pig. She yells for Tang to come and assist as she locks the creature's arms and stops him from moving. The essence of the monster is trapped inside Duan's neck and needs Tang to extract it from the swine. The man attempts to summon up the bravery to do the job, but finds it very hard after seeing the monstrous visage of the creature. Fortunately, Tang accidentally licks the pig after falling into this craziness, putting the devil to death with his lips. Duan extracts the man's essence quickly and places it in her sealed bag. But the devil becomes greater and is too strong to be contained, ultimately escaping and revealing its hideous appearance. The two quickly flee when the entire building collapses. They manage to escape from the demon and find themselves near a lake. Duan falls to the ground due to her injuries and reveals her feminine attributes in front of the main character. The fortunate man becomes even luckier when she instructs him to apply pressure to her wounds and stop the bleeding, which he does at the expense of his own bleeding. However, he doesn't seem to mind much. When Duan closes her eyes and leans in for a kiss, the man suddenly realizes that he is a monk and immediately runs away from her, likely not wanting to be responsible for any potential children in the future. The following day, Tang returns to his master and confesses that he has failed once again. The young guy is informed by the teacher that he needs to seek assistance from the ruler of all demons in order to defeat the pig monster. It seems that this formidable being goes by the name Wukong, who was imprisoned. 500 years ago, the gods wreaked devastation in the sky beneath a massive mountain. Traveling through the jungle at night, Tang stumbles onto a trap prepared by a gang of individuals who seem to be quite hostile. Nevertheless, it transpires that Duan employs them all, and she intends to use any means necessary to compel the monk to wed her. But Tang says he cannot love since the monk's ethic requires him to love everyone equally. Therefore, he declines. Furious, Duan locks the man inside while he considers his next course of action. Her sister makes an effort to persuade her to adopt a more feminine demeanor and utilize her dancing to draw in men. However, after witnessing her awful motions, the lady gives Duan a talisman and decides to use it to control her movements while she entices the monk. Duan approaches her crush, but as soon as the charm starts to break, everything goes awry, resulting in the lady constantly striking the main character, until the man unintentionally gets hit by the charm. The sister starts dancing as Duan, overcome with shame, flees the room, prompting Tang to mimic her body trembling in front of the charging guards. After observing the monk's absurd actions, the men start beating him up once more, only pausing when the sister realizes something is amiss and rushes inside. When they discover that the pig demon has come, their fun abruptly ends, and the party swiftly gets into their car and makes a frantic attempt to flee for their lives. The pig, however, manages to catch up and charges straight at the group. When Duan notices this, he shoves the monk out of the car before the monster smashes into the group and destroys everything. Fortunately, nobody was injured in the collision, but the monster soon trapped them. As it prepares to get revenge on the guild leader for their earlier conflict, abruptly, a guy possessing the aura of a tiger leaps at the creature and starts to subdue it, hurling the monster into the air and kicking it viciously, making the demon flee. As it happens, the man is also a demon hunter, and Prince Important, his 4 stunning nannies, and the Mighty Foot are all with him. He gives them orders to toss flower petals constantly. But his servant doesn't appear to be very good at obeying commands. The person continuously embarrasses him by constantly referring to him as important. The 3 individuals start arguing about who should defeat the pig demon, which greatly angers Tang. He accuses them of being motivated by money and vanity rather than being true demon hunters. Tang asks Duan to give back the nursery rhymes she took, and he starts yelling at her for wasting his time. This angers the woman, causing her to tear the book into pieces and throw it in the air. She starts hitting Tang and tells him that he is nothing without her and would have died a long time ago. Tang gets up silently and notices that Duan is trying to flirt with the prince to make him jealous. He walks away while the girl looks at him with sadness. Tang travels over the land for a long time before coming to a mountain that is devoid of water but covered with lily pads. He jumps in after spotting a big lily blossom sprouting through what looks to be a hole, only to be greeted by an insane-looking man who gives him frequent embraces and kisses. Tang attempts to approach Wukong for assistance in vanquishing the pig demon after realizing that this must be him. However, the guy is just concerned with getting out of here, so he makes a valiant attempt to dupe the monk into taking off the seal by saying it may have captured the monster. Wukong tries to go in exasperation, but Tang refuses to fall for the small talk. However, the demon is imprisoned by the cave's roots, which then start to punish him for disobedience. Tang hands the man a banana as she starts to feel terrible for him. It causes the demon to become more amicable as he starts instructing the monk on how to beat the pig monster. The devil used to like his wife dearly, therefore they must find a stunning woman to dance with under the moonlight. It will draw the monster to the cave so that Wukong may capture it there as well. Duan abruptly burst into the cave upon learning about their scheme. He offers to serve as the pig demon's bait. When Tang notices the lady, he urges her to go. But as he's teaching her to dance, Wukong starts making out with her. It's clear that the monk genuinely cares about the woman, since the sight of the amorous show greatly unnerves him. Duan starts dancing in the moonlight at night as the monk plays music for her. With each step the woman takes, the man watches her and grows more and more in love. They soon discover that the pig demon has come as they hear a terrible roar. The monster peeks beneath the lilies as Wukong starts a conversation with it from within the cave, but the god's ceiling traps it entirely. Tang receives both monsters from Duan after he transforms the pig demon into a doll, enabling him to transform the bad beasts with the help of his nursery rhymes. She gives the monk a ring and expresses her desire to marry him, but Tang becomes very agitated and says he would sooner chop off his own finger than get involved with her. When Duan notices this, she tries to pay it back by removing the ring herself. The children's book that she pieced back together, but the monk angrily rejects it. Upon witnessing the man's conviction, the lady breaks down in tears and vows never to follow him again. Tang, hurting from the anguish of his actual sentiments, exits the cave and looks melancholy toward the moon. He hears Wukong pleading with him for help in getting rid of the lily blossom that is blocking the entrance because he too wants to enjoy the moonlight. The monk severed the blossom, but discovers right away that something is amiss when all of the lilies are burning. Inside the cave, Wukong chuckles uncontrollably until ultimately erupting into a ball of fire that lands squarely in front of the monk. He snatches the victim, throws him like a rag doll, and then catches him again, ridiculing the guy for being so easily duped into releasing the monster king beneath the mountain. Tang informs the monkey demon that he is still inside, as the Buddha is always keeping an eye on everything. Wukong starts tearing off the monk's hair fiercely out of hatred, finally runs out of everything but is incensed that the man's will is still there. The three demon hunters have arrived and the demon senses a sudden presence behind him. The North Star's fist is ready to strike the demon ruler, but when Wukong bites down on the hunter's throat, he swiftly kills the guy by charging forward. When the mighty foot notices this, he starts to change. He grows a gigantic leg the size of a school bus and kicks the monkey demon really hard, knocking him back. The elderly man leaps into the air and stomps at Wukong, but the monkey king kicks the guy into the air, throwing him straight onto the prince, piercing right through his feet. He starts hurling many swords at the monster after telling the nannies to dispose of the elderly guy. Wukong is being pursued and attacked by the weapons, which forces him to flee into the air. Along with the demon, he draws his weapon and starts to knock the swords away. However, the prince turns every weapon into a single weapon and launches it in the direction of the monkey. The strike was so strong that the demon's staff started to split apart, but ultimately breaks into bits as it collides with a wall after coming into contact with the monkey. Wukong yells angrily at the assailants, generating a shockwave that disintegrates the demon hunters. He shifts his focus to the monk, but to Duan's surprise, even after what he had said to her, he leaps out and starts protecting him. The lady starts using her rings to strike Wukong. However, as soon as the weapons strike the demon king, they immediately break into pieces. She lunges in the direction of the monkey. However, Wukong quickly puts an end to her by hitting her in the head, sending her flying backward. Duan asks Tang in a whisper if he has ever loved the lady as he creeps near her. The monk assures Duan that he will always love her as he breaks down in tears, ever since their initial encounter. At last, Duan passes away with tears in her eyes after hearing the man's confession. Tang takes her ring and puts it on his finger as he hugs her and gives her a kiss. Wukong snatches the girl's body and throws it into the air, shattering it into a million pieces before the father has had time to finish grieving. The demon senses a change in the air and instantly withdraws, only to discover that Tang has at last let go of all material ties. The monk starts reciting the contents of the book that Duan assembled while reading it, erecting a gigantic Buddha that faces the whole world. The massive statue starts to move its hand in the direction of the globe. As it reaches the atmosphere, it produces a tremendous shockwave and sets its hand on fire. When Wukong realizes this, he gathers all of his physical might, refuses to give up, and instantly turns into King Kong, yelling ferociously and looming over everything. Wukong tries to hoist the Buddha at the last second, stopping the attack as he strains under the enormous weight, but the big palm is getting closer and closer to the demon. The Buddha's strength is greater than the demon's. and is trampled under the enormous hand. Wukong is sent to a new dimension where Tang has vanquished the monster for good. He then unwraps Duan's ring and fastens it to the primate's skull. Become the devil's new pupil. The guy is informed by the monk's master that he is now prepared to travel west. Together with the demons who are now his disciples, he will bring the sacred texts from India in order to alleviate human suffering. What are your thoughts on this film, guys? Tell me in the comments section below. Please like and subscribe to more videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.